They gave up everything to raise my sister, but she lied and ignored me while saying she was rich and married. Now, here's what's going on. Since I was 15, I've been taking care of my 23F little sister Becca. I wasn't ready to have a kid. Who is 15? A scared 5-year-old is the only person left in the family after their parents die in a car accident. There's not much you can do. Do what needs to be done. As kids, we didn't have much money. Getting by in our little town where everyone knew about you. Not long after our parents died, my dad's side of the family came in like vultures. It was even the car that was in the crash that was taken. They also took the small savings and life insurance our dad had. The house we grew up in was all they left us. It seemed more like a sad gift than anything else. But that was all we had, so I held on to it like it was my life. I had to drop out of high school to take care of Becca. I made my first dollar when I was 15. It was tough. No one was willing to hire a teen, like someone who hasn't worked or gone to school. But I wouldn't give up, or maybe I was just desperate. I babysat, cleaned houses, and flipped burgers at a nearby fast food place, among other strange jobs. Over the past few years, I worked my way up at the fast food place and I am now the boss. It was boring, but it paid the bills. Becca went to college thanks to the money I made there and at other odd jobs. I really loved Becca. I worked hard to do that for her. I gave her everything I had to make her life better than mine. I spent less and saved money so that I could pay for her college. That's what our parents would have liked. What about Becky? She told me she'd do anything for me. She told me, "Sis, I'll get a good job after I graduate and pay you back for everything." I never asked her for money back. I only wanted her to be happy. But it made me happy to know that she liked the things I gave her. But things were fine before she met the boy a few months ago. She was in her last year of college at the time. They went to college together. Becky also stopped coming home during breaks. She would rather spend time with Jake and his family. I wasn't happy about it. But I thought it was just a phase. Is it true that when people go to college, they change? Anyway, I looked into it and found that Jake's family was one of the wealthiest in town. They had old money, kids in a trust fund, and all that. In this area, they were pretty much kings. They had a lot of money and seemed to own most of the shops in town. I thought it was fine for them to be together. Who was I to stop Becca from being happy? If she liked him, that was the most important thing. I couldn't help but feel a little forgotten. Like a little ghost, she was always with me. She didn't have much time for me right now. I didn't say anything, though. I didn't want to be that tough sister who wouldn't let go. After college, things got even worse. After she moved in with Jake, I saw Becca even less. But the requests for money kept coming. She would say it was for food or rent. No matter what she wanted, I would send it to her. It was my wish for her to move back into the house where we grew up. But it was my job to keep an eye on her. She kept asking for crazy amounts of money, though. That much would let me buy a car. I thought that Jake's family might be putting stress on her, or that the costs of her life had gone up. Why did I keep sending the money? I didn't want to ask. Then, while I was off from work, I looked at Facebook and saw something shocking. In the picture of Becca and Jake, they didn't seem to care about anything. She had a ring on. As a way to propose. They were getting married really quickly. My heart almost burst with pride and happiness. My little sister was getting married. I sent her a text message right away to thank her and find out more about the wedding plans. I couldn't wait to see her walk down the aisle. I'm sure she'd want me to walk her down the aisle at her wedding. I quickly gave her the wedding dress our mom wore. I loved it and hoped to wear it myself one day. I really wanted Becca to wear it because it was so pretty, even though it wasn't in style. But I wasn't ready for her answer. Someone told me not to talk about the wedding, that they didn't ask me to. I was shocked. What was wrong? What did I do to make her mad? I texted her again. She didn't answer. She told me not to call her, but I did. It seemed odd that my little sister wouldn't let me in. She agreed to have coffee with me the next day. I was excited to see her and find out what was going on. I missed work so badly that I couldn't pay myself back for the money I would have made if I had. My heart is full of love for Becca. When she finally showed up, I didn't know her very well. Her beautiful black hair, which used to make me think of our mum, had been turned blonde. It looked like she, not the same. Not just the way she looked, but also the way she moved. I had never felt something so cold and far away. To get their attention, I asked about the wedding and showed them the ring. She wouldn't let me touch it, even though I asked her to. She told me my hands were dirty. She wouldn't let me hold it, even though I tried to laugh it off and used some wet wipes in my bag to clean my hands. She didn't even drink the coffee I brought for her. She just looked at me like I wasn't there. It was tough for me to figure out what I did wrong. I gave her money 2 weeks ago. She seemed like she didn't want to be with me, even though I wanted to help her and make her happy. I told her I was sorry because I thought I had done something to bother her. When I told her I had to meet her fiancé before the wedding, she got even more angry. She yelled at me and said I should never meet him and should not go to her wedding if I loved her. I told her I would. I did, and it hurt a lot. For days, I couldn't remember what we talked about. I couldn't shake the feeling that something bad was going on. You could tell she wasn't herself, Becca. She was hiding important things from me. I tried to figure out what was going on in her life by following her college friends on Facebook. It broke my heart what I learned. My sister has been lying. She's been telling everyone that our parents are rich, live in another country, and pay for her fancy life. It looks like she has a lot of money. She's about to get married in one of the town's richest homes because of those lies. I understand her now. She made up her whole life, and if I go to the wedding, everyone will find out the truth. Things are going to break down. I'm just a memory of her real past that she really wants to forget right now. If I go to her wedding, it will be terrible for her. She will miss Jake, his family, and the chance to live like a princess. All because my sister feels bad about me after giving up everything for her. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. That's how she's going to repay me for all the years I worked hard, slept little, and gave up dreams to raise her. Because I'm not the kind of person she wants to be, she cut me out of her life. I have no idea what to wear to the wedding next month. I kind of want to go anyway, just to tell her the truth. I know that will hurt her, and I never want to hurt her. My sister, the little girl I raised, used to tell me she would do anything for me. I want her back so badly. I've been thinking about it over and over to figure out what went wrong. Did I cover her up too much? Was it too much for her? Or was she always meant to be this person? I can't say what I know in this life. I'm sure I can't keep living this way. Giving up my life for someone who doesn't want me isn't fair. Because I put her needs ahead of mine for so long, I forgot how to take care of myself. I need to start taking care of myself. Still, it's hard. It's really hard. Even though she pushed me away, I don't want her to get married while she's telling lies. No need to tell Reddit what to do. AITA for trying to make my younger sister's wedding less perfect? Should I stay out of her way and let her fake life go? I feel like Sunday all over again, and I need help from someone else. Change one. Oh my God, I didn't think this post would be so popular. There have been alerts on my phone all the time. Thanks a lot for all the help, advice, and sometimes tough love you've given me. It made me think about lots of things. I'd like to answer some of the most common questions and comments I see. 1. Getting legal care for a child. I didn't really adopt Becca. No, I wasn't old enough because our parents died when I was 15. They checked on us every once in a while, but since our town is so small, they didn't really notice as long as Becca seemed okay. While it wasn't perfect, we were able to make it work. 2. How the money is doing. A lot of you have asked about Becca's new need for more money. That's right. Something doesn't seem right. A rise from a few $100s here and there to a few $1,000s a month. I first thought it was just living in a big city, but now I'm beginning to wonder if there's more to it than that. Maybe she wants to stay in touch with Jake's family. I feel bad that I don't know. I know Jake's family is rich because I've heard a lot about them around town and on social media. Old money. The bank, the country club, and even the newspaper are owned by them in town. The idea about them is that they are picky and exclusive. That's how they treat people they think are less important than them. I've never met them. 4. How my mind feels. I've actually been to therapy. Some of you said it might help me set better limits. The thing is, it's really pricey, and with my pay, I can't go to usual classes. I went a few times after our parents died, mostly to help Becca deal. I guess I never really dealt with how sad I was. 5. A big family. It hurts. Our dad's family came in and took almost everything when our parents died. We haven't heard from them since then. Our mom's side of the family lives all over the country and was never really a part of our lives. Becky and I have been alone for a long time. What I learned, a lot of people have asked me why I didn't go back to school when Becca was better. Really? It never seemed like the right time. There was always something to pay for or do. I was also very scared about being in a class with kids 10 years younger than me. 7. What kind of person is Becca? That's a tough question. The little girl I looked after was nice, grateful, and sweet. But people change, right? I told myself over and over that she had to be away from me as she grew up and spread her wings. I'm not sure any longer. I might not have seen her as she really is, or she could be lost in Jake's world. I still don't know what to do about the wedding. Some of me wants to stay away like Becca did. Still, I feel like I'd be failing myself if I didn't stand up for what's right. Something someone said stuck with me. Someone told me I've cared for Becca my whole life. I think it might be time for me to have kids. Do you know? It hurt a lot. There are many things I need to think about. When I decide what to do about the wedding, I'll let you know again. Thank you all again for your help. Having someone listen is very important after all these years. Change 2. Today, the day before the wedding, I feel a lot of different emotions. Finally made up my mind about what to do after reading hundreds of comments and tossing and turning all night. I'm not going to the wedding. I agree with what most of you said about not crashing it after giving it a lot of thought. Even though it would be worse, I don't want to hurt Becca. People have been lying to her to make today look like the best day of her life. I called Becca one last time yesterday to see if we could make things work before the big day. But, as I thought, she has stopped my call. I drove by her flat during my lunch break and saw that her car wasn't there. She starts a new life and there are no signs of her old one. It's like she's gone. I did get a weird call early this morning from a number I didn't recognize. When I answered, I could hear someone breathing on the other end. The caller then hung up. Sometimes I wonder if Becca was having doubts or just wanted to talk. Maybe I'm only seeing what I want to see because I need to see something badly. A few of you told me to write Becca a letter telling her how I feel and what we've been through. I tried my best. It felt more personal than an email, so I sat down with a pen and paper. But whenever I tried to write, tears came out on the page. A look back at 100 years of love, pain, and love, and hurt in one letter. I decided not to do it in the end. If Becky wants to know how I feel, she can come find me. I'm going to try to forget about everything tomorrow by staying at home. No doubt, some of my coworkers want to help me feel better by coming over. I should forget about what's going on in the city while we watch bad films and eat pizza. If someone wants to know about my job, they should know that I'll be absent tomorrow. It's nice to see that my boss is understanding and knows some of what's going on. In that way, I guess I'm lucky. I can't stop thinking about what Becca is doing today. Do they fit her at the last minute? Going over her vows? Does it bother her that she left me out of this big event in her life? Or is she just happy that her embarrassing past won't ruin her lovely day? Tomorrow, I still want to drive to that church and tell everyone the truth. But I know that's just hurtful and angry talk. I love her even though she hurt me a lot. She's still that little girl I raised deep down. I'm sure she'll remember that too one day. Tomorrow, while she walks down the aisle and starts her new life, I'll be here trying to figure out what my life is like without Becca. Yes, it is very scary. I'm not sure who I am when I'm not Becca's sister and protector. That's how long I've thought of myself that way. That could be the good thing about everything, though, if there is one. I need to stop being Becca's sister and figure out what I want in life. I'll write again after the wedding. Thank you all again for your help. It helps a lot to know I'm not the only one going through this. Change 3. Hi there, everyone. Since the wedding, it's been a crazy week. I've been putting off writing this report since everything that happened still makes me think. But all of you have been so helpful, and you should know how things turned out. All right, let's begin. The big day was not easy. As planned, I stayed home because they brought over enough junk food to feed an army. They tried their best to make me feel better, but I couldn't help but check Facebook every 5 minutes. The local paper's Instagram feed was full of pictures from the year's biggest wedding. When we saw Becca in her wedding dress, not our mom's, it hurt a lot. It was a fancy dress that probably cost more than our house. She looked very happy. I wasn't there to see it for myself. I thought that was the end of it. She and her Prince Charming would ride off into the sunset, leaving me to fix my broken life. But 2 days after the wedding, I got a letter. From Becky. My hands were shaking so badly that it was hard for me to open. There was a short note inside that said, "That was my choice. I'm sorry I broke up with you. Do not try to get in touch with Jake's family or me. This is better. Take care of yourself. B. No, I love you. No, thanks for everything. This is just a call to hang up. I'm not sorry to say that reading it made me cry for hours. It felt like I had lost her all over again. I was ready to move on with my life and do what she asked. Then yesterday, something happened that I could not have imagined. I didn't really look into online GED lessons when I was at home. Many of you told me to pay attention in school, and you were right. She was aware that our parents had died, that I was taking care of Becca, and that we were having money issues. Everything. I asked her why she let the wedding happen after she told me Becca was lying. I felt very cold after hearing her answer. I told her I was excited to see how far she would go. I gave her a chance to tell the truth, and she did. Margaret was the one who asked me about our life and Becca's request for money. I let out all the feelings that had been building up for years. She told me she had to go to work and thanked me for being honest. Then she left as quickly as she came, which made me mad. Everyone in town told me what happened next was bad, but I'm not sure. Janet talked to Becca and Jake in their new flat. There was a big fight. Jake didn't seem to know anything about Becca's past. He believed all of her lies. Jake's family is now saying that they might not respect the marriage. People say that Becca lied about herself and stole something. Everyone in town is crazy about the story. What about Becky? She called me last night because she was so mad. She can't hide her lies any longer. She begged me to tell everyone that her family was very wealthy and that it wasn't true. She begged me to lie for her to protect the life she had made. I wanted to help Becca right away because her big sister had always looked out for her. A bigger part of me, the part that is finally starting to like herself, knew I couldn't. I loved her. That she would have to deal with what she did, though. That I could not lie to her anymore. She hung up on me in tears. I don't know what will happen next. Will Jake still be there for her when things get better? His family says they will do what they say they will do. Will Becca finally have to face the truth? I'm not sure how to answer any of these. I'm definitely completely worn out. Things that were hidden for years have come to the surface because of this. In the comments, some of you said that therapy would help, and I agree. I found a support group for people who aren't close to their families anymore. I'm going to give it a try. I'm also getting closer to getting my GED. Some nice people on Reddit even offered to help me with my homework online, which I might do. I feel like I'm putting myself first for the first time in a long time. I don't know what Kathy and I will do in the future. That's fine. After things have settled down a bit, I'll let you know another thing. Thank you all again for your help on this crazy trip. Update 4, this is the last update. I haven't written anything in a month. It feels like a very long time ago. I'm still not sure what all the changes mean, but I promised one last report, so here it is. First, there was the mess that happened after the wedding. That's what Jake's family said they would do. They tried to stop the wedding. That Becca had lied about herself and her past is what they said. This is known as theft. Everyone in town talked about the court case for weeks. Becky tried to fight it at first. No one knows how she paid the lawyer she hired. She tried to tell Jake that her past didn't matter because she loved him. But it was pretty much over when Jake told the judge that he felt lied to and wanted to leave the marriage. The marriage was thrown out 3 weeks after it happened. Most likely to keep things from getting too big, Jake's family made sure it happened quickly and quietly. It was said that they gave Becca money to keep quiet about the affair. Things get tricky when it comes to Becca. After the split was over, she came to my door in tears. She said she was sorry for everything. You used me for a long time and then left me out. She said that she had become so focused on changing into someone else that she had forgotten who she was and the people who really cared about her. As if it were a scene from a movie, I'd like to say that I forgive her right away. And we embraced. In real life, things aren't like that. As a sign of faith, I told her I needed time and was glad she was sorry for what she did. It would take time to rebuild. She moved in with me 2 weeks ago. It's strange, to say the least. We both want to do our best. But a lot of hurt and anger has built up over the years. We're all going to see a family therapist together because of Becca's deal. We can solve some of our problems with its help. I don't know what will happen if we stay together. It's possible that we'll never be close again. The fact that we are trying is good. I, on the other hand, have been focusing on myself for what seems like the first time ever. You asked me about taking GED classes online, and I'm happy to say I'm doing well. It's hard to work and study at the same time, but it feels good to be working on something for myself. I've also been going to that support group for not being close to my family. The stories of other people have helped me see that I'm not the only one going through tough times. I'm also getting better at setting limits, which is something I've always had trouble with. People in our small town talk about things quickly, and my boss found out about everything. She has been very helpful. I was even told I could move up. I'll use the extra cash to pay for school. It's not a big deal, but it's better. Janet, Jake's mom, has become like a guide for me, which was a nice treat. She called out to me and offered to help me get back to school after things calmed down. She has been telling me many things, like how to study and plan my work. She helped bring Becca to light, so I was wary of her at first, but she's been nothing but nice and helpful. For now, what does this mean? To be honest, I'm not sure. We're still working on fixing my friendship with Becca, but it's not stable yet. Taking care of her isn't part of my goals for my own life quite yet. It's exciting and scary at the same time.